Would you buy a car from a vending machine? Many people have, and it's a unique business strategy that led to both the rise and fall of Carvana. In fact, over the past 3 years, the stock price went up over 1,100% before losing all of that value. Things appeared to go very right for Carvana before they went very wrong. Carvana was started by 3 entrepreneurs, one of which was the son of Ernest Garcia II, billionaire owner of DriveTime, which specializes in selling used cars to those with poor credit. His son, Ernest Garcia III, is the CEO of Carvana. To succeed in business, it can help to have the right background and to know the right people. With Carvana's success, Ernest III reached a net worth of almost $7 billion, but with the collapse of Carvana stock, it dropped by 98%. Granted, he's still worth over $100 million and his dad is a billionaire, so I think he'll be okay. Carvana was founded when the younger Garcia realized that customers hate the car buying process and spend a lot of time doing online research anyway. If he could provide a simpler process and a reliable way to ensure vehicle quality, a lot of cars could be sold entirely online. Initially, Carvana began as a subsidiary of DriveTime. Then after a couple of years, Carvana was spun off into a separate company and began operating independently. The Carvana business model revolves around providing customers with a convenient and transparent car buying experience, entirely online. Customers can browse Carvana's inventory of used cars, which are sourced from auctions and other dealerships, and view detailed information about each vehicle, including photos, 360-degree virtual tours, and vehicle history reports. Reducing the frustration that customers experience through traditional dealerships can give customers a more enjoyable vehicle shopping experience. Although Carvana has claimed that the online shopping experience saves money, just like shopping on Amazon, Jeremy Alejandri at Forbes found the opposite. Carvana prices may actually be higher than other dealers. Carvana claimed that price comparisons using Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds showed that Carvana cars sell at lower prices, but neither Blue Book nor Edmunds could corroborate that claim. However, according to VinQ, a company that provides pricing data for dealers, Carvana prices are higher than dealerships most of the time. Carvana financing service also cost more than financing options at other dealers. Despite claiming to save money relative to dealerships, a cost leadership strategy, Carvana appears to use a differentiation strategy, which means that companies work to provide better quality or service to attract customers and often charge higher prices than competitors. Now, I have no problem with a company using a differentiation strategy. Just don't claim lower prices if you don't actually provide them. But why would customers be willing to pay the higher cost? Customers can complete the entire purchasing process online, including financing, and have the car delivered to their doorstep or pick it up from one of Carvana's 35 signature vending machines. I used to buy airheads from vending machines in junior high, but watching a car come out of a vending machine would be much more exciting. Since its launch, Carvana has experienced significant growth and has expanded its operations across the United States. The company has grown from just 1 vending machine in 2015 to 35 today. In addition to its online marketplace and vending machines, Carvana has over 100 physical locations, which serve as reconditioning and distribution centers. Side note, some of these locations have now permanently closed. Just like when you shop on Amazon for a pair of earbuds or a pair of shoes, online shopping goes better when you get good reviews, and Garcia understood that. Carvana needed good reviews to succeed, so these reconditioning centers allow the company to inspect, clean, and repair vehicles to ensure that customers get what they hoped for. The company did so well that Carvana went public on the New York Stock Exchange in 2017, raising $225 million in its initial public offering. Carvana invested a lot of this money into its operations. The company's property, buildings, vending machines, and equipment expanded to support a growing company, but this was largely financed with debt. The value of these resources grew from $149 million in 2017 to $909 million in 2020 and $3.2 billion in 2022. And vehicle inventory value grew from $227 million in 2017 to a peak of $3.1 billion in 2021. That is some fast growth. But they grew too fast to maintain a healthy balance of equity and debt, as they financed most of their growth over the years using debt. In fact, the company's interest expense ballooned from $8 million to $486 million. They had more than 6 times the amount of debt compared to equity. But then debt exploded in 2022 and equity crashed into negative territory. In case you're wondering, negative equity is bad. Financing growth with so much debt is very risky, but along with those new resources, the company did sell a lot more cars. And the number of cars sold increased from 44,000 to 425,000 in 2021. And revenue exploded from $859 million to $12.9 billion during that time. But this growth has since been stunted, and some of the company's locations and vending machines have permanently closed. And through all this time, and with so many sales, the company never made a profit. Carvana growth was partly the result of a perfect storm in the company's favor, and its demise was partly due to changing economic conditions as that storm finally settled off. Note the jump in revenue from 2020 to 2021. Along with an increase in the volume of vehicles sold, the price per vehicle jumped over 19%, and total revenue more than doubled. People bought a lot of cars and everything else during COVID. Gross profit nearly tripled, but the company still lost money. One reason for that loss was that interest expense increased due to growing debt, but the main culprit was the company's expenses related to sales and administration. It doesn't do any good to increase your sales if you spend too much and lose money anyway. Even a small-town used car dealer was making more than Carvana. But another reason Carvana lost money is that growth resulted from a crazy economy rather than having the right strategy and control over the company's finances and operations. And one area where they lost control was debt and interest. It's so bad that the company is trying to restructure $1 billion worth of its debt. Risky unsecured bonds would be secured by specific assets, primarily inventory, so debt holders could exchange bonds for a less risky asset that would also allow Carvana to avoid paying cash interest if money is tight. Massive debt is hurting the company, and they are trying to improve it. Carvana has also had numerous operational and regulatory issues, including poor inspections that led to a temporary ban in North Carolina until they complied with state laws for used car dealers. And the lazy inspections happened in other places as well. These mistakes hurt Carvana's reputation, lost sales, and increased costs to fix those problems. The company simply grew too fast to keep control over the quality of its operations. Carvana was started with a unique idea and business model. They worked to provide customers with a better buying experience, and they were well positioned to sell a lot of cars during the pandemic. But the company made some major mistakes as well. For one, they borrowed too much money. You can't go bankrupt if you don't owe anyone money. They also focused on sales growth more than they did on profit. Growing sales is good, but they grew expenses faster than sales. And then when sales started to decline, they couldn't reduce expenses fast enough. They laid off 4,000 employees in 2022, but it was too little, too late. Unless Carvana can turn things around fast, the threat of bankruptcy could become their reality. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'd appreciate if you'd give it a like. And please subscribe for more on business, strategy, and the people involved.